This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Come on now. We all know that Keith, one-time Thurman, is ducking Errol the True Spence, man. That's why his ass is trying to fight Manny Pacquiao. That's supposed to be his meal ticket for him to retire. I've said this before. Keith Runtime Thurman, a.k.a. Keith Duck-Time Thurman, wants no parts of Errol the True Spence or Terrence Crawford. Those two styles are too dangerous for him. And he's smart enough, unlike these other fighters, to know his role and know his place. One thing you gotta like about Keith Thurman, he knows his levels. He knows he ain't special. And he's so envious of Errol the True Spence. He's so envious of Terrence Crawford because he didn't think that when his ass was in the welterweight division, he'd be facing these two opponents. He didn't think that they would be, built up as fast as they did, into welterweight division. He probably felt that he probably would have moved up by the time they would have started making noise. But lo and behold, his ass ain't strong enough to move up. And at the same time, these guys are here and they've been here. They've arrived. They're the two top dogs of the welterweight division. You know me, man. I keep that thing 100. I keep that thing a buck. I call a spade a what? A spade. And then today I'm in Etherin and Merkin mode. You know what I'm saying? But I'm doing it through the analysis of boxing. And what I'm seeing when I look at Keith Thurman is I see a very flawed fighter. A guy that runs into the lane of fire because of his awkward and atrocious footwork to get hit. And Errol the True Spence would expose that. Terrence Crawford would expose that. But if he fights a Manny Pacquiao who does not have the defensive capabilities to evade punches like a Errol the True Spence or Terrence Crawford, doesn't have built-in defenses like these guys, doesn't have the ability to switch it up like these guys, the ability to use your own shit against you like these guys. Manny Pacquiao at this stage, his hand speed is faster than his foot speed. I'm gonna say that again. His hand speed is faster than his foot speed. On paper, it looks like a 50-50 fight, but it really ain't. It's gonna be a close fight because Keith Thurman should have had at least one more tune-up before fighting Manny Pacquiao. Then I would have said it would look more like a 60-40 or maybe a 65-35. But I have it a 55-45 in Keith Thurman's favor. Because I think Manny Pacquiao is going to do some degree of hurting on Keith Thurman. But we've seen Keith Thurman show mental fortitude when he gets hurt. Happened in the Jose Cito Lopez fight. Happened in the Luis Collazo fight. Happened with, Bundu. Keith Thurman has shown that his ass can get hurt, but his ass can make adjustments. And to me, he's the better boxer. And in that fight, he has better footwork, and he's the younger fighter. So he's going to be fresher. Plus, he already got one fight out of the way. So he kind of got the ring rust out. Not fully, but he kind of got the ring rust out enough to where he's going to outlast and out-stamina and out-endurance Manny Pacquiao. At this stage, Manny Pacquiao wanes in the later rounds. In the championship rounds of fights, his ass wanes. He's not the same fighter. And folks need to see that for what it is. This is why Keith Thurman is choosing Manny Pacquiao. This is why he's been gunning after Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao realized, and I know the Pac-Tards, that's what the fuck they are, they've shown me their disdain for me telling the truth, being a truth teller, coming with cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truths, that they didn't like what I had to say about Manny Pacquiao. But y'all know me, man. I'm a truth teller, man. I come with cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truths. And in that fashion, I have to say shit that people don't like. You know why? Because the truth hurts. But guess what? The motherfucker will set you free. I'm going to say that again. The truth hurts, but the motherfucker will set your ass free. That's what the truth does, man. It tells you shit that you don't want to hear. But it liberates you after the fact because guess what? The truth has been rendered. And the truth of the fact of the matter is Keith Thurman at this stage can beat Manny Pacquiao. Anybody's like whatever the fart this dude's name is trying to tell you it's a 50-50 fight. That's that way. That's that one trick pony's way of always covering his bases. But you got to see the bullshit through that. Keith Thurman is the younger fighter, man. He's going to last longer. He's the more defensively responsible fighter in that fight. He's the fresher fighter. So 55% goes in his favor off the strength of that. Plus, he has every bit the power that Manny Pacquiao has to put Manny Pacquiao down. After all, he is the most powerful welterweight in that division. So his ass can legitimately put Manny Pacquiao down. After all, isn't his name One Time? I've re-nicknamed it to Duck Time and Run Time when it comes to Errol the True Spence and Terrence Crawford. But everybody else, his ass is One Time. He's better than everybody else. To me, he's the third best welterweight in the fucking division. So Manny Pacquiao is going to get his ass beat. I think it's not going to be a knockout. I have Keith Thurman outpointing him because lately One Time hasn't been One Time in motherfuckers. Lately he's been outpointing people. So I think Keith Thurman is going to win 8 rounds to 4. That's my take on the fight. He will outpoint Manny Pacquiao on the scoring card. 8 rounds to 4. Because I feel that early on he's going to do enough. Manny Pacquiao is going to mix it up in the middle rounds. And I feel that the later rounds, Keith Thurman is going to turn it up and get his and really blow him out of the water. I got it 8 rounds to 4. Might be 9 to 3, but I'm leaning towards 8 rounds to 4. I'm going to give Manny Pacquiao, because he still got a little something there, 4 rounds. But I think Keith Thurman is going to beat his ass 8 rounds to 4. That's my prediction of that fight. And anybody that tells you otherwise, they're not using this. They're not using the true boxing eye test. They're just fucking dodo heads. They're brain full of mush and brainwashed followers. They are ultra fanboys at the highest levels. Manny Pacquiao is fucking done. The motherfucker's AARP retirement Manny Pacquiao. He ain't the same, man. Does he have power? Yes. To sting people? Yes. But we see it, man, when a guy like Jeff Horn, who's a fucking dud, has taken Manny Pacquiao to task. Come on, that tells you Manny Pacquiao ain't the fucking same, man. Lucas Matiste, I don't want to hear that shit. Lucas Matiste has no boxing skills. He's just a knockout artist. This is what I'm trying to say, man. This is the most impressive win that Manny Pacquiao has had of late. If you go and do the tail of the tape, you'll see what I'm talking about, man. There's nothing so impressive with Manny Pacquiao right about now. The fight against Adrian Broner. There's an argument that Adrian Broner was being able to land good shots in the second half of that fight. He didn't get Adrian Broner out of there. The old Manny Pacquiao would have done that shit. So we could clearly see that Manny Pacquiao has lost a lot. He has lost 8, 9, 10, 11, fucking 12 steps. And I feel that Keith Thurman's good enough to capitalize on that. Let's not forget, Keith Thurman has a high degree of boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? And when he's on his shit and he's in the best version of himself, which I think is past him, I would say he's probably 80 to 85% of what he used to be. That's still good enough to beat Manny Pacquiao, man. And we got to see shit for what it is. It's a 55 to 45 fight. And if Keith Thurman was the Keith Thurman of old, I would probably lean at 60-40, possibly 65-35. Out of respect for Manny Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying, his power, you know what I'm saying, and the ability for him to still, you know, throw a lot of punches and bunches, you can't really say it's a blowout. Now, if this is Errol the True Spence, it's 100 to fucking 0. If this is Terrence Crawford, it's 100 to fucking 0. There's no fucking chance he has against either one of those two. They're just too fucking good, too fucking fast, too defensively responsible. They're just too much better in so many areas than Manny Pacquiao at this stage. But Keith Thurman is not the same fighter psychologically and mentally. So that's why I wouldn't say, if this was Keith Thurman of old, I would have probably said 85-15, 90-10. But I can't say that. You know, to me, it's clearly a 55-45 fight. But I'm leaning towards Keith Thurman because of the fact that he's the younger fighter. He's the fresher fighter. You know what I'm saying? At this point, he's the stronger fighter. He's the bigger fighter. And he's going to be able to walk Manny Pacquiao down. And he has better ring generalship. And he has the better boxing IQ. There's a lot of things that boil more in the favor of Keith Thurman at this stage versus Manny Pacquiao. This is why I have Keith Thurman winning if he were to face Manny Pacquiao. And anybody that tells you otherwise is a fucking ultra fanboy. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.